Hello guys, this is Vaish, the fourth episode of Mains Guidance 2013 to 19 question paper trend analysis. So this is ethics theory part alone. So the case studies I'll be doing it as a second part to this, which will be again uploaded within next 24 to 48 hours. So this is about how to approach GS4 paper, which is very important paper for you. And if you see, I'll take 2013 onwards because the ethics paper was introduced around that time, and the only book you will need is this lexicon textbook, where almost everything is covered in definitions and theoretical and quotes of people, then examples of case studies. Enough and more things are there. Okay, so regarding these things, we have already done all these papers: Indian language, English, essay, general studies 1, 2 and 3 is already uploaded. Please watch everything because this will shape up your preparation, and this is not something which you will do later after you do some bookish studies or something. Okay, this is something which you have to watch first, and only then even think of beginning your preparation. Okay, because if you do the other way around, you will again be among those students who are failing every year for this exam. Okay, so watch the first guidance videos. And optionals, we don't have any course as of now, but how to choose an optional, a video is already there. Step-by-step process is there. Go and watch that video. And then interview guidance also, one video is there. We'll make more videos when interview is nearing for the next batch. Okay, so the ongoing series of like what all things are happening in our channel, as I told, as of now these things are uploaded. 1, 2, 3 is there in a detailed way. And previous year prelims is also going on. 2018 also episode got today over, and 2017 I'll start hopefully from tomorrow. And environment, medieval history is the ongoing lectures, even polity, which is kept on hold as of now, which will continue after 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks. And then the free videos which are already available are NCERT class 6 to 10 of geography and history, and a lot of MCQs daily we post in community tab. You can go and answer them. Then mains guidance and beginners guidance playlist is there. Essay, English, Hindi, as I told. Then spectrum and RS Sharma is completed. Medieval will continue. So if you like, comment and share all these things, we will feel motivated to do more and more videos for you, and everything will be completely free. So see to it that you are supporting this channel, because if you simply watch it and go away, then we will not know whether it is actually reaching people. Okay, so do your part from your side so that we will also do our part from our side. And upcoming video plans are world history, reminiscing economy, and class 11th and 12th of most of the subjects. Okay, so this and all will take again time, because as of now our focus is on the October 4 prelims. So we have to support the 2020 students, and we have to give more and more tests to them, more and more support to them. Okay, so all things are focused towards that. That is why the previous year questions are being taken at a faster pace. Okay, so just subscribe and stay tuned. Everything will come in the coming months. And for test series enrollment, you can come directly WhatsApp me. So this general studies paper 4, okay, which is paper 5 in reality, because essay is your paper 0 kind of thing. So this general studies 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude. So 3 keywords you see here, but there are much more to it. There are a lot of keywords, so you'll see here. So in what has UPSC notification mentioned is, this paper will include questions to test the candidate's attitude and approach to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life, and his problem solving approach to various issues and conflicts faced by him in dealing with society. Questions may utilize the case study approach to determine these aspects. The following broad areas will be covered. Okay, so basically they want someone who is having this quality already of a civil servant. Okay, like how to be integral, how to know about this righteousness, or being honest, or having the quality of a civil servant, public administration, how to deal with people, how to deal with situations, how to deal with a crisis. This quality, whether you have it or not, meaning this is actually a theoretical form of your personal interview which you will have later. Okay, so what you write here, it should not be something which is made up, because if you make up something and write whatever you like, a bookish kind of answer, and finally when you go to the exam, the mains interview, okay, personal interview, obviously those people are smart enough to find out in the first 5 minutes itself whether you are actually that person or not. So don't fake anything. Either become if you are lacking ethical skills and all, develop those, and then along with that study the theory also. Okay, because you have to be a better person, and better personality you should have to give this paper, which will ultimately help in your interview and your final duties when you become a civil servant. So ethics and human interface. Essence, determinants and consequence of ethics in human actions, dimensions of ethics, ethics in private and public relationship, human values, lessons from the lives and teachings of great leaders, reformers, administrators. So what is the difference between leader, reformer, administrator? I think already I have made a video long back. It will be there. then role of family, society, educational institutes, etc. Okay, so building up values, that's what I told, becoming a good person. So that value building is a very important thing, and maximum number of questions have come from here every year. Okay, values. Then attitude, content, structure, function, its influence and relation with thought and behavior, moral and political attitude, social influence, and persuasion. So this thing, it's not only about developing your attitude, there is theory part to it also. There are types of attitude, there is bureaucratic attitude, there is civil attitude, personal attitude, political attitude. There are a lot of definitions also which you have to study, which all you will get it from the lexicon textbook. Okay, aptitude and foundational values. I think aptitude as such is not asked, but the values of civil servant, it is asked. Okay, integrity is asked many times, impartiality and non-participation is asked once, objectivity is asked once or twice, then dedication to public service, empathy, tolerance, and compassion towards the weaker section. Okay, this one will be tested anyway in your case studies part, but the theory questions have come lesser. Then emotional intelligence, I think 2 times it has come, concept and their utilities, and applications in administration and governance. Okay, governance is again very important, like how you act as an administrator, that is asked every year. Okay, and contributions of moral thinkers and philosophers. So as such, there are many thinkers and philosophers, so you cannot study everything, but at least the main people whose quotes are used in exams, that I will tell you the personalities. So at least their quotes, when you see next time, focus more. Okay, because UPSC is like it's the UPSC's favorites. Okay, then public civil service values and ethics in public administration, status and problems, ethical concerns, dilemmas in government and private institutions, laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as sources of ethical guidance, accountability and ethical governance, strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance, ethical issues in international relation and funding. So this only once it has asked. Lexicon has a separate, I think in one chapter it is given detailedly. Then corporate governance, then probity. Here again governance and all these things. Right to information, code of ethics, this is the area from where the recent questions have come. Okay, code of conduct has come, code of ethics has come, RTI has come, citizen charter has come. All these have come in the 2019-18 papers. Okay, so they have asked almost everything in the last 7 years, so everything becomes important for you. And about case studies, we'll be making a separate video, so that will have the questions which are about case studies. I will show you how many questions come from each section. So the books which you need, obviously the previous year paper books you need, the Arihant or the Disha publication, where you will get all the solved question papers. Okay, so that will give you the pointers. So after studying from lexicon, if you do this also, you are then almost ready for this paper, because it's a theoretical paper. Rajya Sabha TV as such will not have has much input towards ethics, because as I told, ethics is about your values and these things, so that may not be there in Rajya Sabha TV. Okay, but still continue to watch it for your other papers, GS2, GS3 especially. And textbooks again, one question paper book and one lexicon textbook, and remaining is all your personality. Okay, that will decide whether you will clear this exam or not. And about the marking pattern, 2013 to 16 it had a different marking pattern, and after that it changed. So 3 hours paper, 250 marks, that all you know. Earlier it was 14 questions, where I think it was 8 questions of theory and 6 questions of case study. Okay, and it was much more better actually, and all questions are compulsory. The number of marks carried by question or part is indicated against it, and answers may be written in the medium authorized, and word limit should be adhered to. Okay, so this is basic instructions you should read every time. But after 2016, what happened is they changed it to 12 questions with 2 sections, that is 6 and 6 questions. But you will think like now that is easier, lesser questions, but it is the other way around. Okay, what they did is in the 12 questions also, they did like every question will have a part A and part B. Okay, so if you have 6 theory questions and 6 case studies, this will be 6 only case studies. Okay, but this 6 will be into 2, meaning all the questions will have 2 parts. So it will be 12 questions there and 6 questions here, and sometimes it will be 13 questions here. Okay, so like some question can have part A, B, C. Okay, in this section, so it will be around 13 questions. So we have to write in total around 19 questions now. Okay, and sometimes people don't get time also. So that is how it is, and it has become more and more lengthy 2017 to 19. So 130 marks, that is 2 to 3 parts, 10 marks, 13 parts will be there. And after that, case studies will be 6 questions, 20 marks each. So that's how the 130 plus 120, 250 marks is as of now. Okay, 2020, we don't know whether they will again change it. Okay, they don't announce anything of that sort. They just do it, and then only we will come to know. Okay, but as of now, it is like this. It's all 10 marker. There is no question more than 10 marks in theory part. This is something which I prepared yesterday. It's a summary of all the questions which came. Okay. So we will see the questions anyway, but this is how it is generally classified. So if you see ethics, the keyword ethics obviously is the maximum number of questions which came. Okay, that's why I did color coding. So you will see here, and here if you see 3 years, conflict of interest, emotional intelligence, this has come 3 times. Okay, so like that, this one 2 times, and here these are all one time. Okay, meaning only once this keyword has been asked. But if you see RTI as a separate different types of RTI has come in 4 different years, and this is all related to wealth distribution. These are all different definitions. This is different types of ethics: environmental ethics, international peace and security. And here these are some difficult ones like Gandhiji's 7 sins, John Rawls social justice, then Max Weber ethical and moral concepts. So they will ask a specific to them. So either if you don't study this, you cannot obviously write it, you will have to skip those. Okay, so there are some difficult questions also. Then some emotions will be asked, like explain about anger, explain about happiness, patriotism. And here if you see values is another important thing. Values, attitude, these are asked almost every year. Okay, so like this I have made a chart which will be given to all my test series students, mains test series students. Others can maybe note down themselves, because this will not be given. Okay, because that is what obviously you will do when you see something immediately. Sir give me, this is what you do. But this is something which anybody can make. Okay, now also after this video, if you take a pen and paper, you can make it yourself. Okay, open an Excel sheet, and whenever I'm telling a question, note down. Okay, it's not a rocket science kind of thing. So we'll see 2013 to 16 first, and then 17, 18, 19 separately, because the marking distribution was different. So if you see, we'll see first the definition based questions which came in every year. So what do you understand by value and ethics? Okay, it's just a basic definition which you will get it from the textbook. In what way it is important to be ethical along with being professionally competent? Okay, so you have to be professionally also good, and you have to be ethical also. So you have to give some examples. So always ethics question will be like this. Okay, theory they will ask, which you have to directly by heart and study and write, and then you have to give some personal example, or you have to enhance that to make it unique, so that your answer stands out. Okay, because definition anyway everybody will write the same thing only. Then this kind of definitions used to come earlier, and then they sometimes stopped, and then again they restarted. So this is repeating sometimes. Okay, like they'll give simply 5 keywords and ask you to write. So if you see here, integrity, perseverance, spirit of service, commitment, courage of conviction, all these things, either you will get it from lexicon textbook or that Arihant book, or you will get it when you do a good test series, because in our test series I think almost every keyword is covered. Then indicate 2 or more attributes which you consider important for public service. Okay, 2 more attributes. Okay, so after this, it's a continuation they are given. So this 5 is there. After that, they are asking you to write 2 more. So you have to write something: righteousness, or honesty, or transparency, or non-partisanship, something like that. You have integrity, something which is not integrity already here, something which is not here. You have to add 2 more attributes and write it. Okay, with examples. So justify your answer. What is emotional intelligence, and how can it be developed in people? How does it help an individual in taking ethical decisions? Okay, so this again a full chapter is there in lexicon. Simply directly by heart study and write it. What do you understand by the term voice of conscience or conscience, and how do you prepare yourself to heed the voice of conscience? So that is there, the concept of like a conflict of interest or something, like you feel something internally, your heart says something, your mind says something. So that concept, okay, that's asked many times, 2-3 times, and that is there in the textbook. So you have to prepare that and write it. 2014, what does ethics seek to promote in human life? Why is it all the more important in public administration? Okay, so ethics promoting in human life. Obviously, you have to write the importance of ethics. And what do you understand by probity in public life? What are the difficulties in practicing it in the present times? How can these difficulties be overcome? So the challenges also you have to write. For that, first you should know what is probity. Okay, so again, this is there in textbook. So try to study this. What factors affect the formation of a person's attitude towards social problems? In our society, contrasting attitudes are prevalent about many social problems. What contrasting attitude do you notice about the caste system in our society? How do you explain the existence of this contrasting attitude? Okay, so the attitude towards the caste system as an example they have asked. It's a very lengthy question they have given, but for 10 marks only you have to write. So make the pointers accordingly. And people ask like whether I should write in paragraph or bullet points. Everything is fine when it comes to GS answers. Everything is fine, but it should not look like from starting to ending. It should be not like continuous bullet point. That will look very bad. Okay, it should have an introduction. It should have a conclusion, and between you can have side headings, and then under side headings you can have bullet points. Okay, or maybe mind map kind of thing, or block diagram kind of thing. Anyway, to convey your answer or your mindset to the examiner, you can do any methods in GS papers. Okay, when it comes to essay paper, you will have to write it more in paragraph format. Okay, so that to keep the continuity running. Then what does accountability mean in the context of public service? Okay, what measures can be adopted to ensure individual and collective accountability of public servants? Okay, so individual responsibility, accountability, collective responsibility, accountability, these things even in your parliament and all you would be learning. Okay, like how the ministers, MPs have this individual, collective thing. So here in case of public servants, they are asking. Okay, two different kinds of attitude exhibited by public servants towards their work has been identified as the bureaucratic attitude and democratic attitude. Distinguish between the two terms and write their merits and demerits. So again, two definitions. Is it possible to balance the two to create a better administration for the faster development of the country? Okay, so they're asking for the faster development, whether this can go hand in hand or how to do it. Okay, so bureaucratic attitude and democratic attitude. Then again, definitions like how here integrity and all these things were asked. In 2015, they asked these things: law and ethics, discriminate. You have to differentiate between the two terms here. Okay, law and ethics, discrimination and preferential treatment, personal ethics and the professional ethics, then ethical management and management of ethics. So this kind of wordplay kind of words also they use most often. So be prepared for that. Okay, at least prepare all the things which was asked in the previous year paper. That itself will help you clear the cutoff. Okay, that is why I'm showing you all these things. Prepare answers for these first, which you will get from Arihant book anyway. Then you are almost 90% ready for the exam. Okay, later then whatever test series you get and other things, that's extra bonus for you. So write answers for all these things. 2016, what do you understand by the term governance, good governance, ethical governance? Then anger. Okay, I told you emotions they ask. So anger is a harmful negative emotions. It is injurious to both personal life and work life. Discuss how it leads to negative emotions and undesirable behaviors. How can it be managed and controlled? Okay, so it's an anger management thing. It's not a like very new topic or something. It's like even you people personally might be facing and all. So anger management is a thing which you can Google and find out also more points, because I don't think directly in lexicon there will be a chapter called anger and all, but you can find out notes for this. Okay. Now, example based or analysis based questions. Again, we'll see all 2013 to 16 first and then only go to the other years. Okay. So some people feel that values, so again values keep changing with time and situation, while others strongly believe that there are certain universal and eternal human values. Give your perception in this regard with due justification. Okay, so it's about the perception. Some people tell values like keep changing, but some universal values are there which should be there. So that you have to, it's your own choice to write. Okay, but again, I think in lexicon they have covered this. When you do the textbook, you will anyway get it. But obviously, you have to give your inputs also, because obviously, when you read these questions, you will relate something which happened in your life or somebody else's life which you know. So you can use all those things. It is like ethics is completely free to use. Okay, you can use examples from your life also, from movies also, from books you read also. Anywhere you can use examples. So again, crisis of conscience. Narrate one incident in your life when you're faced with such a crisis and how you resolve the same. Then the good of an individual is contained in the good of all. What do you understand by this statement? How can the principle be implemented? So this one is again like good of an individual is contained in the good of all. So this one I think in movies also would have heard this kind of things and all. I think even in Bhagavad Gita or somewhere it's there. Okay. It is often said that politics and ethics do not go together. What is your opinion in this regard? Justify your answer with illustrations. Okay, so in previous page you saw bureaucratic attitude and democratic attitude. Now here they are asking about politics and ethics. Okay, this is like I think a repeated question. One more time it will come. So this is if you see 2014. All human beings aspire for happiness. Do you agree? What does happiness mean to you? Explain with examples. Okay, so last slide you saw anger. Here they are asking happiness. In the context of defense service, patriotism, okay, demands readiness to even lay down one's life in protecting the nation. According to you, what does patriotism imply in everyday civil life? Explain with illustrations and justify your answer. So these are very general things which you can write. Okay, suddenly when somebody asks you in an interview also, these are things which you can write or make up some answer. It's not something like where you have to definitely study from textbook. Okay, then this one is also interesting. Integrity without knowledge is weak and useless, but knowledge without integrity is dangerous and dreadful. Okay, so having knowledge is not enough. You have to be integral. Integrity is a good side you have to show, or the importance you have to show. What do you understand by the statement? Explain your stand with illustrations from the modern context. Then which eminent personality has inspired you the most in the context of ethical conduct in life? Give the gist of his or her teachings. Giving specific examples, describe how you have been able to apply these teachings from your own ethical development. Okay, so it's like again a general question. Okay, this kind of questions also earlier it used to come a lot of questions like this, like where you have to take a real life example, or write about your teacher, write about a politician, write about a business person. They'll ask you to write something from where you got inspiration. Okay, it can be real life or it can be from a movie or a general person. Okay, a famous celebrity kind of person. Then there is heavy ethical responsibility on the public servants because they occupy positions of power, handle huge amount of public fund, and their decisions have wide-ranging impact on society and environment. What steps have you taken to improve your ethical competence to handle such responsibility? Okay, so again, it's about the ethical responsibility of the public servants. Okay, like what all steps you have taken to be competent to that role. The current society is plagued with widespread trust deficit. What are the consequences of the situation for personal well-being and for societal well-being? What can you do at the personal level to make yourself trustworthy? Okay, trustworthy also, it's a repeated question. One more time it will come. It is often said that poverty leads to corruption. However, there is no dearth of instances where affluent and powerful people indulge in corruption in a big way. What are the basic causes of corruption among people? Support your answer with examples. So corruption, poverty and all these topics which you again study for GS2, GS3 and all, but you have to bring in more ethical angle to it when you write in GS4. Okay, it should not look like a GS3 answer where you are writing about schemes or something like that. Okay, it should be more people oriented. Then our attitude towards life, work and other people and society are generally shaped unconsciously by the family and social surroundings in which we grow up. Some of these unconsciously acquired attitudes and values are often undesirable in the citizens of a modern democratic and egalitarian society. Okay, egalitarian means equality, equal kind of people, everybody are equal. Then discuss such undesirable values prevalent in today's educated Indians. How can such undesirable attitude be changed and socio-ethical values considered necessary in public services to be cultivated in the aspiring and serving civil servant? Okay, so it's about the attitudes which develop unconsciously, okay, which you acquire, but it is not good in a society of today. So examples of that you have to give. 2015, mere compliance with law is not enough. The public servant also has to have a well-developed sensibility to ethical issue for effective discharge of duties. Okay, sensibility is also one word you should know, which is important, which you should be when you are a civil servant. So do you agree? Explain the help of two examples where an act is ethically right but not legally, and legally right but not ethically. Okay, this one if you just pause the video and think, you yourself will get lot of examples. Okay, where you are ethically right but the law doesn't allow it. Okay, or sometimes the law tells you to do something but your mind tells to do the opposite. Okay, like that's not right. You can do something also to help someone or do something. Okay, so that you can think of some examples and you have to write it. So it's very general and it was a very good question also. How do the virtues of trustworthiness, again came trustworthiness and fortitude, get manifested in public service? Explain with examples. Public servants are likely to confront with the issues of conflict of interest. Okay, earlier also it was asked. Conflict of interest. What do you understand by the term conflict of interest and how does it manifest in the decision making by public servants? If faced with conflict of interest situation, how would you resolve it? Explain with examples. So every keyword which you see is asking the same thing only. Okay, like what are the challenges and how will you resolve it as an administrator? So your administrative skill is what tested, not only the definition part. Then these are all 2016. This question already I read it. Then explain how the ethics contributed to social and human well-being. Okay, this also you saw in the first slide I showed you. Again, ethics is promoting human development. The same thing they asked one more time. How would impartiality and non-partisanship be considered as foundational values in public services, especially in the present day socio-political context? Okay, illustrate with examples. Okay, so this impartiality and non-partisan, you will feel like both are same kind of word only, but in political context, partisanship is a different thing. Okay, so that also you will get it from textbooks. Prepare it. Okay, law and ethics are considered to be the two tools for controlling human conduct so as to make it conducive to civilized social existence. Discuss how they achieve this objective, giving examples show how the two differ, okay, in their approaches. Okay, so again, law and ethics. Law versus ethics also previously also you saw it was there, but this time they just modified it to make a very complicated kind of question, but they're asking the same thing only, how they will go hand in hand and how they are different in their approaches. Then quotes, personality, factual based questions. Okay, so like this also comes every year. So Mahatma Gandhi is one of their favorite. Every year one or two quotes come. So there is enough on this earth for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. So this one you would have seen multiple times. It's a very popular quote. So you have to write about it. Okay, so that is like if it's an essay question, they would have given 1500 words here. Okay, but here it's 150 words and 10 marks. So you have to write it in a very precise format. And this one, when you Google, you will get thousands of articles also on this. So at least prepare whichever quotes have already come. Okay, and in the lexicon textbook also, at the end there is a section where they have given quotes of all personality, like Mahatma Gandhi's all 40-50 quotes they'll give, Abraham Lincoln's 40-50 quotes. You cannot buy out all the things, but at least you can read through it so that you get the feel of it. Okay, so that you yourself in your mind starts thinking about those things. Okay. Nearly all men can withstand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Okay, so with more power, you will have more responsibilities and more roles to play. So that is also a famous quote. So that is told by Abraham Lincoln in this format. So that you have to write. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who overcame his enemies. Okay, so Aristotle, so is a very famous personality, old personality. So this also is not very difficult. If you read it carefully, you can write answers to it. But to make it more unique and more professional, it should be involving practice. So you have to start writing yourself. Okay, that's why test series is important. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. Okay, so this also is like having a very deep meaning. If you are like good in English, you will have understood what it means. So if that's also one tip I want to give. There are many students who give their medium as English, but they are not actually good in English. Okay, so it's okay that you are not good in English or something, but for this exam sake, when you are competing with others, okay, who may be better than you have to do that extra effort on that also, because nobody will teach you separately for English. So when you are preparing for UPSC, see to it that you are developing that skill. It need not be like you have to go and join some spoken English class or do some complicated things. You can simply watch movies. Okay, start watching movies, English movies with subtitles, then start talking in English more to people of other states or something. Okay, when it's other states, don't talk in Hindi or regional language, start talking in English. Okay, because obviously the other person will also understand that. So the more you talk, the more you will get fluent. Okay, there is no one who can inject that skill into you. English speaking skill comes only when you speak more and when you read more. Okay, read more English books, watch more English movies. It will automatically be okay, and when you will see more kind of these quotes. Okay, in movies and all, or in economic survey, that is from where they take all these things. Okay, this year's economic survey also, if you see, they have put lot of quotes from Tirukural. Okay, Sangam literature, time, personalities and all. They put quotes in every, like starting off the chapter of every economic survey, they put a quote. So that and all, when you see, that is what will be picked up also for these kind of exams. So try to do that. Okay, side by side. Then these are difficult questions, like Mahatma Gandhi's concept of 7 sins, John Rawls concept of social justice. These things, like, you cannot write whatever you like. You have to specifically write, because it's like a definite theory. Okay, so when it comes, if you know, write it. If you don't know, please don't write up stories, just skip it. Okay, because as I told, out of how many other question comes, you have to write only 75% of it. With that itself, you will get the cutoff. You don't have to write all the questions. Then public service code as recommended by the second ARC report. Okay, second ARC, again in your Lakshmikant it will be there, or you can download the PDF and study. So for GS2 anyway you will study this, but here you have to specifically write about the public service code. Then corruption, again, causes misuse of government treasury, administrative inefficiency and obstruction in the path of national development. Discuss Kautilya's views. So again, when it comes like this with personalities, you have to know something which he would have written in his book Arthashastra. He has written a lot about these things. So you have to mention points also from there. If you write simply general things about corruption, that will not fetch you marks. Okay. Then how could social influence and persuasion contribute to the success of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan? Okay, so 2016, if you see, they tried to put very difficult questions. Okay, so I would say till now, whatever I have shown you, this is the most difficult questions, I would say. Okay, because all specific to some scheme or specific to some personality. See again, Max Weber. Max Weber said that it is not wise to apply to public administration the sort of moral and ethical norms we apply to matters of personal conscience. It is important to realize that the state bureaucracy might possess its own independent bureaucratic morality. Critically analyze the statement. So to read this and understand itself, you will take at least 15 to 20 minutes in the exam hall. So 2016 is tough. Hope 2020 doesn't turn out to be like this, but at least be prepared and be ready for this. Okay, be expected that these questions also come. So in case it comes, you have to see to it that your other sections are good, meaning your definitions part is good, your example part is good, so and your case studies is good, so that in case this section comes like 30-40 marks here, even if you had to skip them, you will still score high marks. Okay, so always be preparing section wise. Okay, be strong in 3 out of 4 sections so that you will be good in the cutoff. Now, factors, implication, measures, statement based questions. So 2014, human beings should always be treated as ends in themselves and never as merely means. Okay, so means versus end is also a Mahatma Gandhi concept. Explain the meaning and significance of the statement, giving its implications in the modern techno-economic society. Okay, this also they are doing. Last time you saw it was socio-political. They asked, here they're asking techno-economics. So you have to involve your answer through these context. Okay. We are witnessing increasing instances of sexual violence against women in the country. Despite existing legal provisions against it, the number of such incidents is on the rise. Suggest some innovative measures. So this is a very general and easy question because you will prepare for your other papers also, GS2 and all. So this and GS1 and GS2. So this can be attempted easily. Social values are more important than economic values. Okay, so again the concept of values, you will get it from the textbook itself. Discuss the above statement with example in the context of inclusive growth. So inclusive growth is like the word I think mentioned in all the papers now. GS1, 2, 3, 4, I have shown you the word inclusive growth. Some recent developments such as introduction of RTI Act, okay, 2015, they're asking recent development. Media and judicial activism, etc., are proving helpful in bringing about greater transparency and accountability in the functioning of the government. Okay, transparency is the keyword, transparency and accountability. However, it is also being observed that at times the mechanisms are misused. Another negative effect is that the officers are now afraid to take prompt decisions. Okay, so RTI, Whistleblowers Act, these are things which already came in exams. So it will have negative side also, like some people will be afraid to take decisions now because everything will be out in the public and all these things. So you have to tell the negative side of it. Analyze the situation in detail and subject how this dichotomy can be resolved. Suggest how these negative impacts can be minimized. Okay, so this part will be always there at the end of every question in ethics, like how can you solve that thing, because ultimately they're checking that only, your problem solving skill. Okay. Today, we find that in spite of various measures like prescribing code of conduct, setting up vigilance cell, RTI, active media, strengthening of legal mechanism, corrupt practices are not coming under control. Okay, so this is the point for that they wrote all the story. Corrupt practices are not coming under control. Evaluate the effectiveness of these measures with justification. Suggest more effective strategy to tackle the menace. Okay, so again, everything, this question part is always same. You just have to see what context they are asking. So corruption, already this was asked. You saw in previous slide also, like corruption, how can you minimize? Then what is meant by environmental ethics? So like this, it will come like human ethics or bioethics is a topic which can come. International ethics can come. So that and all is extra things which may not be there in your lexicon textbook, but you have to Google and prepare, or you have to do a good test series because they will cover everything. Discuss any one of the environment issue from the viewpoint of environmental ethics. Okay, even your environmental impact assessment which is going on now, you can take points from there and all. Then at the international level, the bilateral relation between most nations are governed on the policy of promoting one's own national interest without any regard of the interest of other nations. This leads to conflict and tension between the nations. How can ethical consideration help resolve such tension? Discuss with specific examples. Okay, like like you sign bilateral treaties and all, but obviously when you do things, you will be doing taking into consideration a nation's interest more than the other nation's interest. So how can the issues which come or the tensions which come be resolved? Okay, so that's about other forms of ethics. One environmental ethics came and one international ethics came. Now we'll see the 2017 onwards, the questions what came. So here if you see again, conflict of interest in the public sector arises when official duties, public interest and personal interest are taking priority one above the other. Okay, this one is actually the answer to the previous question. Okay, there they were asking about what all type of conflict of interest can come. Okay, so here they are giving you the answer itself in 2017 that during your official duty it can come, public interest, personal interest, these things can all mix up. Okay, like you will not know whether to attend your meeting is more important or go to your son's annual function in school. Okay, if both are happening at the same time, you will not know which one to do. So that is the conflict of interest. Okay, so how can this conflict in administration be resolved? Describe with an example. So here with respect to administration, you have to tell all these things. Okay, your duty and your personal thing coming in between. Now examine the relevance of following in the context of civil service. So again, these keywords, if you see, this all are asked. Okay, transparency is asked, accountability is asked, courage of conviction is asked, and spirit of service is asked. Only this is the, I think, first time they're asking. Fairness and justice. Okay. Young people with ethical conduct are not willing to come forward to join active politics. Suggest steps to motivate them to come forward. Okay, so this one is also a very interesting thing. You can give your own inputs and all. You will get inputs from a lot of movies also about this. Okay, like how can you make the youth come forward for politics? Now actually many youth is coming forward, but still, how can you give suggestions? One of the tests of integrity is complete refusal to be compromised. Explain with reference for to a real life example. Okay, so again integrity, and you have to give an example. How will you apply emotional intelligence in administrative process? So this is all like repeating. Okay, if you see 2017, all the questions which you saw till now are repeating. So if you had done the previous year paper, 2017 was a very easy question paper. Strength, peace and security are considered to be the pillars of international relations. Elucidate. Okay, strength, peace, security. So it's almost like a very diverse thing, very high range, low range to high range things are asked. So you have to write everything. Okay. The crisis of ethical values in modern context is traced to a narrow perception of the good life. Discuss. So again, a statement type question which comes every year. So you will have to think a little bit to write in the right context. CSR, which is part of a GS2, GS3 also, corporate social responsibility, makes companies more profitable and sustainable. Okay, so even though it's like doing good for the society and money will go out of the company, it makes the companies more profitable and sustainable. So you have to explain in that positive note, okay, how it is actually benefiting the companies. Discipline generally implies following the order and subordination. However, it may be counterproductive for the organization. Okay, so the disciplines, again, negative side they're asking. Okay, it can be counterproductive for the organization. Discuss. Increased national wealth did not result in equitable distribution of the benefits. It has created only some enclaves of modernity and prosperity for a small minority at the cost of the majority. Okay, so this again, that rich gets richer and poor gets poorer kind of thing. Like you have a lot of wealth, national wealth is increasing. We are becoming a $5 trillion economy soon and all, but the equitable distribution is not happening. Okay, like the people, everybody are not getting the benefits of it. So about that, you have to justify that a small minority got more than at the cost of majority. Great ambition is the passion of a real character, of a great character. Okay, so this even I tell you in my motivational quotes and all these things. Okay, you have to be ambitious. Okay, a person cannot reach somewhere by simply doing bookish studies or listening blindly to teachers or something. You should have ambition. You should have like a future goal, like after 5 years I'll be this much, after 10 years you'll be this much. I mean, this much in not only terms of your income, okay, based on your personality, your character, your relationships, everything. You should have a huge ambition. If you are not ambitious, you will not succeed in life. So those endowed with it may perform very good or very bad acts. All depends on the principles which direct them. Okay, so it's a Napoleon quote. So you have to write in that context. Okay, ambitions, both sides, because it's guided by the principles. That is what this quote says. You have to write accordingly. Stating example, mention the rulers who have harmed society and country, who worked for the development of society and country. Okay, so you have to give examples of the rulers. Okay, so this is little, you have to take some time to imagine and come out with examples, but this comes, okay, such kind of things comes where I told you will be asked about politicians, rulers, businessmen, philosophers, anything can be asked. So you have to write it on the spot. If a country is to be corruption free and become a nation of beautiful mind, I strongly feel there are three key societal members who can make a difference. So they are father, mother and teacher. Okay, so this is Abdul Kalam quote, and this year maybe it can come also because he is in news all the time for his all achievements which he did when he was there. So this not very difficult. This is a very straightforward essay kind of thing which even your school level they are asking. So I think you can write answer to that. Now 2018 we'll see. So here and all you will see, you will like 13 questions you will see. Okay, 13 into 10, 130 marks you will see. Rest of the case study I will do in second part. So state the three basic values, universal in nature, in the context of civil services, and bring out their importance. Okay, so three universal basic values. This one when you Google itself it will come. What are the three basic values? Okay, distinguish between code of ethics and code of conduct. This one I showed you in the syllabus. I showed you is one of the last part of the syllabus. So that was not asked exactly in all these years, but 2018 they asked it. Then what is meant by public interest? What are the principles and procedures to be followed by civil servants in public interest? So again, the context of public interest you have to tell. Okay. The Right to Information Act is not all about citizens' empowerment alone. It is essentially redefined the concept of accountability. Okay, so accountability and this thing already one question you saw detailed one previous year where they were asking the same thing, like RTI is there and they will not take prompt decisions and all those things. So here they are asking with the keyword directly they are giving accountability. What is meant by conflict of interest? As I think third time you are seeing this. Illustrate with examples the difference between actual and potential conflict of interest. Okay, so actually what happens and what is the potential chances, like what and all can come. In looking for people to hire, you look for three qualities. Okay, integrity, intelligence and energy. and if they do not have the first, the other two will kill you. Okay, Warren Buffett. So if again you remember, same kind of question you saw before, where they were telling about integrity and knowledge, like knowledge without integrity is of no use. Same way here they are telling intelligence and energy without integrity is of no use. Okay, so it's like a kind of repetition, but the keywords have changed. Instead of knowledge they have given intelligence and energy, which is almost similar only. Okay, so it is again a repetition. What do you understand by this statement in the present day scenario? Explain. In doing a good thing, everything is permitted which is not prohibited expressly or by clear implication. Okay, examine the statement with suitable example in the context of public servant discharging his or her duties. Okay, so to do a good thing, okay, like we will say everything is fair in doing something. So in doing a good thing, everything is permitted which is not prohibited expressly or by clear implication. So that you have to tell when a public servant is doing his duties, how it can be true. Okay. So with regard to morality of actions, one view is that means are of paramount importance, and the other view is that ends justify the means. So this one again you have seen means and ends. I told you it's a Gandhian concept. It's already asked. So if you see ethics, if you study these topics which are repeating, okay, that alone will help you clear. Okay, you will get easily how much 8 questions from here. If you write, you will get 80 marks, and then case studies. If you write like 6 case studies will be there. They also write at least 4 case studies very well. You will get the passing mark. You will get the cutoff mark. Okay, because questions are repeating. There is not like 13 out of 13 questions will never be like all 13 are new. Okay, if there are 4 5 new, the remaining 7 8 or whatever is will be older one, repeating one. Suppose the government of India is thinking of constructing a dam in a mountain valley bound by forest and inhabited by ethnic community. What rational policy should it resort in dealing with unforeseen contingency? Explain the process of resolving ethical dilemma in public administration. This is actually like a case study. This is what actually comes in case study, but in theory part itself, I don't know why they have put this question. Okay, so this is about the 2018 question. Okay, again we have, what do each of the following quotations mean to you in the present context? Okay, so here if you see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 90 marks. Okay, and then you will have again these questions. The true this is a very big quote, again Abraham Lincoln. So now you will understand that Mahatma Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Kautilya, then Napoleon, these are the popular personalities which you have to focus on, okay, when you read quotes. The true rule in determining to embrace or reject anything is not whether it has any evil in it, but whether it has more evil than good. Okay, so this also, you know, like do something when if it's the good is reflecting more, you can do it. So there are few things wholly evil or wholly good. Almost everything, especially of government policy, is an inseparable compound of the two, so that our best judgment of the preponderance between them is continually demand. So this will look very complicated when you are seeing, because it's like a passage kind of thing. So but the context you would have already understood from the starting itself, like the good evil relationship they are asking, and whether you have to choose something which is like more good compared to evil, that kind of thing. Okay, so you can write with your available knowledge. It's like not necessary that you would have seen this quote before going to the exam hall, but don't skip it just like that. Okay, if you understood at least half of the context of it, try to attempt such questions. Anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. Okay, so again, like you should not make a decision when you're angry. These kind of things you would have already heard. Okay, intolerance or something, like you should not be like your own what to say, perception or your initial view about something should not lead you to understand something in a wrong way. Okay, always listen to something when you hear for some time something for the first time. Not like you already have a perception and then whatever the other person is explaining you will not believe. That will not work. Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi again. So again, that's what I'm telling. Mahatma Gandhi becomes very important for you. All his quotes, if you can read it and prepare it, it's good for you. So this is the 2018. One more question. So totally now it will become 130 marks. Okay. Falsehood takes the place of truth when it results in unblemished common good. Okay, so Tirukural again, this is what I told. This person was there in economic survey completely this year, where a lot of quotes about him is there. So you can expect in 2020 again some quote which he has given. Okay, so see to it that you have read it at least once. Now 2019, what are the basic principles of public life? Okay, you have already seen these things like 3 universal these things of public servant, values, 3 basic values of a public servant. So again they're asking basic principles of public life, illustrate any 3 of them. Okay, so they're again focusing on the same thing, how a public life or a public administrator should be. See again, what do you understand by public servant? Reflect on the expected role of a public servant. So it's very general. Okay, and I think this will be much more easier for you compared to the other questions which you saw. Then effective utilization of public fund is crucial to meet development goals. Critically examine the reasons for underutilization and misutilization of public fund. Okay, so already you saw a question where national wealth is increasing and then the poor is not getting much. The only a few people are getting all the things. So here again about the public fund utilization, they are asking why it is underutilized or why it is misutilized. Okay, and their implications. Non-performance of duty by a public servant is a form of corruption. Okay, so again corruption, but here they're telling if you don't do your duty, that is also a form of corruption. So do you agree with this view? Justify your answer. Okay, so obviously this one you will agree only, but you have to justify with maybe examples or some pointers. Then what is meant by constitutional morality? Okay, this is something which for the first time they are asking. How does one uphold constitutional morality? Okay, what is meant by crisis of conscience? This again you have seen. Crisis of conscience was asked. Voice of conscience was asked. Okay, how does it manifest itself in the public domain? Explain the basic principle of citizen charter movement. So this again it's a thing where you can download the PDF. It's a huge PDF. In that different sections they'll ask. Okay, here they're asking explain the basic principle. So you have to write the summary of it. There is a view that Official Secret Act is an obstacle to the implementation of RTI. Do you agree? Okay, so you know that RTI, like anybody can take a 10 rupee form or something and then request for anything you like. But every time government will not reply because they will tell it is like under Official Secret Act it is protected and those things cannot be given out to citizens because of nation's security. So whether it is a obstacle, obviously it is an obstacle, but it is for the good only. It is not like you cannot give out everything about a nation, okay, because of security reasons. Especially in our country where all the kind of terrorism and all these things, internal movements happens, you cannot give out all the national level details. So you have to justify this or discuss this. It's not like you have to take a stand or you can explain both sides. What do you understand by probity? Again, it is asked, it's repeating. Based on your understanding of the term, suggest measures of ensuring probity. So it's a direct repeated question. If you have done it that time, this year would have been a little more easier, 2019. Again, emotional intelligence repeated is the ability to make your emotions work for you instead of against you. Do you agree with the view? Okay, so don't worry about what the question tail is. Okay, they will always simply put elucidate, discuss, justify, critically examine. Many things will be there. Okay, but if you know the content, you can modify it according to what the context is. So make sure you study the theory. What do each of the following quotations mean to you? So this one, if you 2018 and 19, this thing has repeated. Okay, they are giving some quotes and they are asking you to elaborate on it. So 2020 also expect the same thing. Quotes will be asked. An unexamined life is not worth living. Okay, so Socrates. So now they are finding out new people. A man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks he becomes. Okay, so this is a kind of easy one only. But again, Mahatma Gandhi. See, this is one of the most popular one which Abdul Kalam had told in the United Nations. I forgot the occasion where he spoke this, but it's a very famous one, and the video of this also is public where he's telling this. If you have not seen it, please watch it. Okay, just search Abdul Kalam righteousness video. It's a very inspiring video. The entire people there are from across the countries are clapping for him when he told this. Okay, where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. Okay, so it's a very famous one, and you have to prepare Abdul Kalam. Even in our test series, we make students write about entire thing about Abdul Kalam. So if you have joined, you will obviously write it in the coming months. So this is about the theory. So this video is comparatively shorter compared to GS 123 because I have not taken the case studies part. Okay, so case studies again like this a smaller part I'll make where we'll go through all the case studies with some keywords and all I'll give you like what kind of things they repeat. So all definitions from lexicon and previous paper are important. You have to do. Quotes are there at the end of lexicon textbook, and also in news and economic survey, whatever you see, write down the quotes. Okay, keep seeing the quotes, set it as your WhatsApp status, like that, put it as your Facebook status. So more you see them, the more it will get registered in your mind. Okay, ability to write on any topic, reading and writing skills you have to improve. As I told English, if you are not good, start reading more, start speaking more, start watching movies more. Start with the subtitles, later remove the subtitles, do that. Okay, you will obviously improve. You don't need much time. Within 1 month, 2 months, you can easily improve on your English skills. Then ethics in office, society, family, environment, international, internet ethics. These are all things which will come. Okay, in the next year, we are predicting these kind of questions. Okay, like about the social media ethics, what you should follow in that kind of thing. Then religion related questions have not come till now, but that also you have to see. Okay, like majority, minority thing or caste related thing. Caste system, already one question has come about the attitude and values and all. So internet or digital kind of some question we are expecting in 2020. So hope what we predict comes true, but be prepared for that. Okay, social media especially because the question numbers are increasing more when it comes to social media. Then personal ethics, okay, you yourself should be ethical person, as I told. Okay, only then you will be able to impress the examiner. So this is a summary chart of it, of the entire questions which I explained now. So case studies also I'll come up with the video soon now. So what I want to tell you, okay, there are students even now who tells the same dialogue when we send them the link of test series and these are the upcoming programs. Immediately they'll tell like, sir, I will complete my portions and then I'll get back to you in December, January. This is the most foolish thing which coaching institutes have built in your mind. Okay, that is a incorrect method. UPSC is the only exam in this country where you have to start with your reverse order. Okay, you have to do the previous year questions, you have to do the test series, you have to do the MCQs in the starting phase itself, and you have to learn through questions, because this exam is not about building knowledge and then finally throwing it entirely on the exam paper. This is about solving the UPSC question. Okay, anybody can make you study a spectrum textbook or a ethics textbook. Anybody can do it. Even a 10th standard student can do it. You itself imagine, what are you studying for this exam? You are studying NCERT exams of 6th standard, 7th standard, which people of half your age is studying, okay, in school, and they are getting full marks in the exam. So you are not doing something great by doing NCERTs or something. Here the trick is, or here the need is, UPSC questions when it comes from NCERT, are you able to write it or not? Okay, because a 6th standard student cannot write that when it comes. When UPSC question comes, he cannot write it. So that talent is what you have to build. And so practice isn't something you do once you are good. Okay, it is a thing you do that makes you good. Okay, so practice question papers from the starting. This is one important thing which we tell every batch, but still only 10% of the entire students listen to this. And only that 10% almost clears the cutoff, or sometimes reach very near to the cutoff. Others will be nowhere there and they will be still blaming either the teacher, either the coaching institute, either the situation. You will have thousands of excuses after the exam. So please don't be in that category. Be in that 10% of students who are doing all the needful thing. Okay, doing the syllabus, doing the previous year paper, doing the test series, practice. That is the only goal to clear this exam. Okay. So this analysis is what we can do for you. You can connect with us in the Facebook and YouTube, and I'll come up with the next video soon. This is the email ID, and you can even send to get 3 free tests for prelims. You can send a code like 3 free to this thing, vaishupsc@gmail.com. Immediately you will get 3 tests. This is the playlist for 2021 guidance and 2022, whichever new batch you are. If you don't know anything about this exam, this playlist will entirely teach you everything what you need to know. Okay, and why you are actually failing this exam, why you are not reaching cutoff, that also will be clear if you watch this video. Okay, only for serious UPSC aspirant, this one. Okay, difference between serious versus not serious, these 2 episodes if you see, you will understand why you have been failing all these years. Okay, so 3 free is the code which you have to send, and I'll come up with a new video soon. Till then, enjoy your learning. Thank you and have a nice day.